Welcome back to Rhoda 360, the space for 360 degrees of inspiration, insights, and impact. It's a cold Friday evening, and I decided to share something about me, something that I've known about myself for a while now, but I was just trying to figure it out and probably put words to it. And yeah, so it's a little bit different from um my previous episodes. Of course, with this one there's no guest, there's no research paper, it's just you and I and having these conversations that's been like sitting in my heart for a while now. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for always engaging and staying through, and for your all your support, your impact, your comments, your questions. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. It's not easy to organically build a podcast. Um, from this right from zero to what it is now. I'm grateful. Um, so today, this night, this morning, afternoon, wherever you're listening to me from, um, I want to talk about success. And I decided to make this an audio session because uh, I felt or I feel it's something that you don't have to see my face for this one. Yeah, it's the kind of conversations that we connect only with our ears and our brains, and like we get to sit in and really think about these issues. Now, success, not the kind you see on LinkedIn or our social media pages, of course, not just the degrees, the titles, the metrics. I want to talk about like the inner kind of success, the quiet kind, the kind that I genuinely believe is the reason my outer life keeps expanding. So there is this, uh, inner exposure to light kind of situation, that affects or positively impacts my outer life, where people look at me, or sometimes I look at myself and it's all rosy, it's all beautiful, not minding the internal battles or the the arrows that have been thrown at me or that life has thrown at me, you know. And these are some of my success stories, my success secrets. And sometimes people wonder what's with me. Why does it look like she has it all? And even when I tell them, I give a short phrase like, it's God. You know how we say it in Nigeria? It's God, oh. People do not believe. And I don't blame them for not believing that life or the universe or the creator is just being good to me. And I'm going to share some tips I think are my success secrets today. And I think they might change how you move through the world too. We live in a world that teaches us to hustle, hustle for success, to strategize ourselves. Even in my last two episodes, I've been talking about strategies, positioning ourselves well for, good jobs, businesses, roles. Yeah. And the world teaches us to network strategically, to optimize what we have or where we are, and to look, deeply and bring ourselves out and, be on that stage and let people look at us and see us and, you know, and see, yeah, I'm a researcher, right? I'm a pharmacist. I have a pharmacy background. And I understand systems. I believe in working smart. But then I also know that there is a whole dimension of success that doesn't get talked about enough. You know, the relational dimension of success, the spiritual dimension, which I have held on to for a very long time. The dimension that lives in how you treat people when nobody's watching, in how you feel when someone else wins. And I've come to believe deeply that this dimension is not separate from your success. It is your success. How you feel when someone wins is your success. You know, how you treat people when no one is watching is your success. When I say people, I mean people you have authority over. It could be children, it could be people you are richer, than people who are vulnerable to you. How you treat them is your success. And it's the foundation that everything else is built on. So let me share 4 or 5 practical things that I believe keep me in a state of being genuinely blessed. Secret number 1 is that I love genuinely, I love deeply, I love profoundly. If I love you, whether as a family member or anyone outside, it's genuine. I'm someone that, and people, of course, people have taken advantage of the fact that I love them genuinely. They've taken advantage of that fact. They've used it against me in numerous ways than not. So yeah, but then I love, and I still love. The first thing, is simple, and yet it's profound. This first thing is profound. I chose love genuinely. Genuinely. It's not, and I didn't just choose it. I grew up to know that I know how to love people. Genuinely, not performative love, not manipulating kind of love. Probably it was more about people pleasing. There was a time it was more about people pleasing, but even in people pleasing, whatever I felt towards those people were most times was love, not performative actions. Well, until it became something else, right? Until I found out that okay, these people were using whatever goodwill I had towards them, and they were using it against me, or they were using it to use me for their own toxic behaviors, or to fulfill their own toxic needs. Now, when I talk about me loving genuinely, it's not love that expects something back. Yes, at a point in my life, I was in a situation where um, getting help from people um, would have really helped me in life. I was looking out for people's support at a time in my life. But again, loving them at that point was not because I was expecting those same people to love me back. Because I understand the concept of giving. When you give something, either love, either money, either support, most times it doesn't come from those people you give those good deeds to, you do those things for. It comes from outsiders. It comes from other people, other channels. And I understood that on time. So my love, or my loving genuinely, is not love that often expects something back. It's just a posture of warmth, like warmth towards people, towards life, towards myself. Yeah, towards myself, towards passion, towards any project I am in. right? Then I think of people. Then I think of people who go through the world guarded, right? And I understand why life gives us reason to protect ourselves, of course. I've had those reasons too, but till now I've made that decision that, some point I will not let what I've been through harden me. Because even though I'm a lover, there were certain issues, you know, many opportunities, many things that would have hardened my heart towards um, being a different person. Have I evolved into a stronger lady? Yes, I have. Um, am I able to like smell performances and manipulations and toxic behaviors from afar? Now, yes, I can. And because I'm able to detect all those things, I can now protect myself. I can now channel this love to whoever I believe was worthy of it at that moment. So yeah, I will not let what I've been through harden me. I will also not let down my guard for just anything, for just any nonsense to come into my life right now, even though I love genuinely. Yes, and I will let it deepen me in more. Yeah, instead. So love is not weakness. Yeah, love is actually one of the most powerful energies that you can move through the world with. Because when people see you, they feel it. Opportunities feel it. Life responds to it. When you love will always find you. That is when you love genuinely. Genuine love. Genuine love will always find you. And that's the first secret that I like to share in this audio episode. So I lead with love. I let love lead. I love genuinely. So let's go to the next secret. What do you think it will be? Yeah. So my next secret is I appreciate a lot. The next secret is for me it's appreciation. You see, this is different from being grateful, although they are related, right? And this one, I didn't grow up with this one because I could be grateful for something, but then I would not appreciate or show appreciation for that thing. And that ruined my relationships, in the early part of my adult life. Appreciation is active. It's noticing, it's pausing long enough to say, this matters. This person matters. This moment matters. I appreciate the small things, the things, the kind messages, a door held open for me, someone showing up, someone just calling out of the blues and saying, hey, Rhoda, I just thought about you. How are you? Appreciate the smallest thing. Now, something that people misunderstand about someone like me is I appreciate the smallest things, the smallest act of kindness. Make me go emotional, emotional sometimes. Those small acts of kindness, those showing up just um very early in the morning and say, hey, I just was driving around, I want to see you, or just picking up your call and or just dropping those messages because I can be weird sometimes. I do not like calls. Or don't yeah. So yeah, hey, Atom, I appreciate a lot. For instance, sometimes when I'm going out in the morning, that beautiful sunrise in Auckland. I love it. The nature, the space, the beautiful green spaces in the city. I appreciate such things. I appreciate, you know, the things people do indirectly for me, thinking they were doing for others or they were doing for themselves. I appreciate. Because what I've found is that when you genuinely appreciate what you have, more comes. Now, not because of some mystical law, though I do believe in spirituality though, but because appreciation, like, it tunes you to, like, it opens you up, to experience those things that you appreciate. You'll start noticing more of those things. So if um so if someone had got a new car and it was a beautiful car, and you appreciate, genuine appreciation, you appreciate that car for that person, it won't be long before you have yours. And when you're going to have yours, you're going to have it big. You're going to have it's like it's going to surpass your dream, and even that thing you appreciated that person for. You start receiving more when you appreciate. This one is even, let me give example of humans. When someone gives you a gift and you show genuine appreciation, not just some surface gratitude. Oh God, I'm going to share my family story again. Well, okay, yeah, that's it. So a few weeks ago, someone asked for some support, financial support of some kind, and I was able to come through for them. And then, and this is like the umpteenth time this thing is happening, and this person replied with much appreciated. It was that simple. The message was that simple. It said much appreciated. Well, maybe that is the genuine appreciation text from an adult, person to another adult who has supported you, you know. But then to me, and not as if I was expecting too much, but for someone who, we've been chatting for a while, I expected something deeper. Do you get? Now, and of course, I'm not stopping God from blessing me by saying this, but if that person comes to me again, which we always do in the nearest future, and say, "Okay, Rhoda, help me out with this," I don't think I would be pushed to go far, for him, like I was the previous time, or like I will do for someone that appreciates me if I come through for them, or that genuinely appreciates me if I come through. Because what that you know empty surface level appreciation showed was that this was not enough. I expected more. And bro, you don't know if I had more to give, right? When you genuinely appreciate people or situations or circumstances, happening in your life or around you, you start attracting more of what you're already grateful for. So tonight or this morning, I'm saying appreciate loudly, appreciate your relationships, appreciate your jobs, your businesses, your roles, appreciate your children if you have them, appreciate your family if you can, appreciate God if you believe in God, appreciate life if you still have one. Of course, if you're listening to me, you have life. Appreciate the life that you have. Appreciate often. It costs nothing, but then it returns everything that you appreciate. If you're here I'm thankful for you. If you're still here listening to me, I'm thankful for you. And that is my number 3 secret. I'm thankful for genuine relationships. And this one is close to my heart. And I'm deeply thankful for genuine relationships, not just followers, not LinkedIn connections, not my network. I mean, relationships, the real ones, the ones where people know you, not just by your highlight reels, not just by your social media, your Instagram post or TikTok presence. Because in a world that is increasingly digital, increasingly transactional, increasingly formed and curated, genuine human relationship or genuine human connection is rare because things are moving fast. The more you post on social media, the more other people post, the more your post, gets buried in billions of other posts done at the same time or posted at the same time you did yours. Right. So genuine human connection is rare. People forget about others quickly. But then, and probably that has made me to appreciate and treasure, genuine relationships. I'm usually thankful for people that can listen. I'm usually thankful that for people that, we can have genuine conversations together. I protect my relationships a lot, although I don't have so many. I think I can count a handful of people and in my circle. But then I invest in these relationships. I think about the people in my life who have shown up for me, who have genuinely prayed for me, who have not used my past and my story against me. People who have told me, hard truths about myself and the process I was, going through. People who have celebrated me in rooms that I wasn't in. Those people are not just friends, right? They are part of why I am who I am. I call them family. And someone will say, Rhoda, you you like to call people, or you easily like to call people family. But then when I find this genuineness in people, it doesn't take me anything to call them family. Because what do we even define as family? It's not just blood. It's not just blood relatives. Because from where I am coming from, if you've been following my story on YouTube or if you're following my story on my podcast, you will notice that my family is not what my blood relations are not what I would call family. So when I find these genuine relationships in people who are not even family members, I think I deserve the right to call them family. Because like I said, they are part of who I am. If you have even one person, just one person, that person in your life, you are wealthy. The person does not have to live with you. The person does not have to be in a romantic relationship with you. The person does not have to be in the same city or country that you are. You are wealthy. Don't take that relationship for granted. Invest in it. So, and that would quickly take me to my 4th secret. Let's see. Um, there's envy, then there's jealousy. But then I intentionally replace envy with happiness. You see, this one I want to sit with for a moment. Because I'm not trying to say I'm a perfect person. I am far from perfect. And because I think it's one of that it's this secret, replacing envy with happiness, is the one that makes the biggest difference energetically. Because with this, you have to be intentional about your emotions. You have to do intentional work with your emotional and psychological being. It's not easy. I can give examples of different situations in my life where I could have been stuck to envy, you know, and I could have allowed that envy to rule me, either rule me or ruin me. But what saved me was while I was on the floor in that mud, and then I'll look up and see these people who, in my mind, then didn't deserve all these good things. They were enjoying while I was suffering. I, instead of staying there and being envious of them, I lifted myself up from that mud, from that pit. I cleaned myself up, and I began to take steps by steps, one step at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. And I began growing, and I began shining again. Now, I can be genuinely happy for people when good things happen to others. Promotions, marriages, babies, research, scholarships, fundings. I feel genuinely happy. Now, this one is probably the reason why in all my 5 secrets this is the one that I feel works for me. Really, because it has to do with lots of intention. Before I move forward, I'm going to quickly share in the next 3 minutes about my experiences when I was applying for a PhD scholarship. Now, myself and other people were in this race together, trying to see where, back in Thailand, we're just rounding up master's degree, and we were trying to see where we could secure PhD funding, because, of course, for me, I didn't have money to fund my PhD. So I needed support. I needed scholarship. And then we kept applying, and we kept sending applications to different places. And at a point, it was like every other person was getting it except me, or except the people in my circle. Every other person outside of our circle, was getting funding, some form of admission notifications, and some form of funding, partial or full funding. But then we're not getting. There's something happened. Someone in our group, or uh, in my circle then, got his. And I was genuinely happy. Yes, was I uncertain that I may not get? I did, because there was a lot of uncertainties about my life at that moment. It wasn't just about the funding. There were other life issues and um life progresses and things that were connected to me getting that admission and that funding at that moment, or in that phase of my life. So there were lots of uncertainties. But when these people started securing their scholarships, one thing I didn't allow to sleep with me was the spirit of envy. Instead of envy, I was genuinely happy with them. I would go to their space. In fact, there was one I would pray with. You know, I would speak with, I would make plans with, I would make plans for their transitioning or traveling from the country, from Thailand to the country where, they got that scholarship. I was genuinely happy for people. Now I can be happy for people so much that even when probably that was part of this one was part of the people pleasing, even when people did not really invite me into their space or into whatever they are doing. Because I remember when a friend of mine was going to get married. In fact, the information I heard was mostly from, people around us, not directly from him. It hurt a bit, but then it was his life, right? And I was still happy for him. I was still happy for him. Not too long, my own scholarship came up, and I'm really grateful to God for how far I have come. Was it about marriage? Before we finished school, back then, a friend of mine, or someone we shared the same apartment with, got engaged. I remember being overly excited when she said she was going to get married. Had to travel all the way from Benin City, Nigeria to Abuja, the capital territory, for the wedding. And during the wedding, I don't know, it was as though I was the one getting married. I was so happy for her. So when you, like I said in the previous secret, when you are happy, when you appreciate something, it comes to you. My own marriage came immediately after graduation. Well, somebody would have said, "Oh, why did you get married immediately after?" But it was what I wanted, and it came to me. Same thing with this scholarship and PhD funding. I wanted it. Other people were having it. I was grateful for them. I was happy, genuinely happy for them, and my own funding came. It's real happiness I'm talking about, not some performative ones, not some reluctant ones. Happy. And I know that it's not universal right now because we live in a world that breeds comparison. Social media is basically a highlight reel competition. And it's so easy to see someone else's win and feel that, that quiet sting. That's why when I got my PhD scholarship, one of the ladies that we were in the same race together, but of course in the different study areas, I couldn't explain how she reacted. It was not on a happy tone. It was not in a happy way at all. But then I don't blame her. That is what the world breeds right now. It's competition, it's comparison. It's that why not me feeling. I felt it because I'm human. I felt it. But then I made a decision and it took practice to replace that instinct with something better, to look at someone else's blessing and think, this is proof that it's possible. If it happened for them, it can happen for me. Because what envy does is it contracts you. It gives you a job. It's just like the devil giving you a load to carry. Envy contracts you, but happiness expands you. Envy contracts you so that you do not experience any of those joys and promotions and breakthroughs that other people are experiencing. Envy contracts you and closes you up to numerous blessings, but happiness expands you. It expands you, opens doors. I think the Bible says, there's a part of the Bible they say, my my gates are continually opened. That is what happiness does to you. It expands you so that you are able to receive all the blessings that you're genuinely happy for. Energetically, spiritually, practically, you cannot attract abundance while resenting the abundance of others. Their win is not your loss. I'm telling you, other people's win is never your loss. Quickly, let me move on to secret number 5. I love this one because it's just like the former one, right? My secret number 5 is that I wish people well, everyone. Whether they wronged me in the past, whether it's people I know, people I do not know, I just wish them well. Now, this secret of wishing people well is the most countercultural of all. Everyone, even the ones who have hurt me, even the ones I've had to distance myself from, because of course I've had to protect myself from people. Even when I sense negativity or misalignment, instead of engaging with it, I refuse to absorb it. I don't fight it. I simply step back. But in stepping back, I genuinely wish them well from a distance. This is not naivety, and I want to be clear about that. I have boundaries. I have removed myself from spaces and relationships that feel harmful. I have, be it family relationships, be it whatever, however, whatever form that relationship is, I've removed myself from such spaces because protecting your peace is wisdom and not weakness. So there's a difference between having a boundary and carrying bitterness. For me, I refuse to carry bitterness. Instead of carrying bitterness and being in that space and, holding on to that relationship, I'll, remove myself from that space, release myself of every bitterness, stay away, but still wish you well from afar. Because bitterness is the weight you carry. It's only you that will carry that weight, not them. They might not even realize how deep they might have hurt you. So, and it will not punish them because, of course, they don't realize that. Even if they do, some people do not just care. It's you that the bitterness will slow down. So for me, I release people. I wish them well. I move forward. And I truly believe that this posture keeps me in a flow of blessing that I could not manufacture on my own. So yeah, those are my 5 secrets. Right. My success. So now you might be wondering, Rhoda, why are you sharing this? What does it have to do with health or careers or any of the things that Rhoda 360 usually talk about? And my answer is everything. It has to be everything because I have watched highly intelligent, highly qualified, highly driven people, either fall or plateau. And I've watched people with far fewer resources and credentials, just rise. They just step up the ladder. The difference is the spirit. It's not just about strategy or how good your LinkedIn profile is. It's the spirit, it's the energy that you carry, it's the way you treat people. It's whether you're operating from scarcity or abundance mindset. It's whether you're operating from fear or from love. It's whether you're operating from competition or comparison or from a place of celebration. These 5 things I shared today, they are not soft skills. they are, for me, they are my success infrastructure. They are the invincible foundations that holds everything else up. And every day I keep getting blessed. I genuinely believe because I keep choosing them imperfectly. intentionally. So I want to leave you with a question today, not a homework or assignment, just something to sit with you. Which of these five do you find the hardest? Is it appreciating people? Is it wishing people well? Especially those who have hurt you. Is it genuinely celebrating others' wins? Is it slowing down enough to truly appreciate? Whatever it is, that's your growing edge. That's where your next level of blessing is waiting. So please drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know if this has resonated with you, shared with someone who needs to hear it today. My name is Rhoda, and this is Rhoda 360. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.